Cold call knockout. Weighing in at 175 pounds, Rob Turley, co-founder, co-CEO at White Rabbit Intel. There you go. How's that for an opening?
You're good at that. Let's get ready to rumble. I'm Justin Michael.
Love it.
And I'm the MC, which is sometimes spelled MC or EMCE. I do love MC Hammer. I didn't have Hammer Pants, but I memorized the entire MC Hammer Can't Touch This by listening to a tape recorder and replaying it with my brother until I could actually do the rap. So I'll spare you today. Today we're here about the fight, cold call knockout round 2. Reminds me of a great 80s movie like, Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo, So Rob, we're excited to have you here. Rob Turley, the co-founder and CEO of White Rabbit. I'm a huge Lewis Carroll fan, by the way. There's a statue of Alison in Central Park, a massive 20-foot copper statue. So you got to, next time you're in Manhattan, they let you fly in there, you got to get a photo shoot with it for your company. Today, we're going to be doing some awesome cold call competitions. Rob's going to be calling some VPs of sales, some CEOs, some high-level people that could look at his technology for targeting, and we're going to learn all about that. I want to thank the Revenue Garage team, and I want to thank all the sponsors. So we have Slintel, Lead IQ, Connect and Sell, Revenue Grid, Revenue Garage, Putting It On, and Vidyard. And we're just really excited that they're supporting this round. We have Rob Turley and Sarah Brazier are competing today. And Aaron Ross is involved. We have Gabrielle Blackwell, who won the last round, is coming back. And so, yeah, let the games begin. I don't think they can patent it, but may the odds be forever in your favor, Rob.
Oh, why, thank you. And speaking of, the whole Lewis Carroll thing is that, I think of 3 impossible things before breakfast, and that's why I built something that people thought were impossible. People have tried, including Oracle, and they've all failed. So it's pretty exciting. I'm going to see how it goes because you know what? I'm not much of a cold caller. I am a social seller, so I'm a social selling expert. I'm a solution selling expert, and I am really good at the warm conversations and everything like that. But with our targeting technology, so targeting and opportunity identification, I think it's going to put me in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. And remember, for the audience just tuning in, it's a pretty sophisticated scoring system here in that we're not just going for meetings, that's the brass ring, but we're also going for referrals and the ability to get follow-ups because with modern cold calling, this is really important to be able to progress the interest, to get routed, to get referred. So we're really not looking for the binary outcome. We're looking for the skill level of the callers to progress the conversation. This is going to be done on a parallel assisted dialer, and Rob's going to go ahead and get started here. And when you hear the beep, he's going to get connected live. And I'm going to be commentating and exploring some different methods. What's really cool about Revenue Garage is an exploration of different sales methodologies, calling methodologies. So check out revenuegarage.com. And yeah, Rob, is that at espresso? I feel like Iron Chef here. Like, what's fueling you?
Oh yeah, for sure, espresso. Fantastic. It's a Lavazzo extra bold.
Good to know. Lavazzo did not sponsor us, but maybe next round. I really just want whoever made your sweater to sponsor me because it's awesome. Reminds me of Weezer.
It doesn't even have a brand on it.
That's the best. Okay, man. Well, hey, hit the button when you're ready, and let's do this.
All righty, let me get in there. I'm gonna go. All righty, I hit go. We're gonna be on our way soon.
Good. So we'll be listening to the beep. And for those watching, it'll be a little jarring. Is it rolling?
Oh, no, not yet.
It's anticlimactic. I was ready to watch you crush a call there.
Can you hear the ding? When I hear the ding, that's what I'm curious about.
Yeah. So I think it's dialing 4 numbers at a time. And
that's correct.
I'm curious to see what your strategy will be. We talked prior to the call. You are the co-founder of the company, and so you have a lot of confidence, which I think is really important because I think sales is the transference of belief. Some people talk about a power pose, right? Standing up straight. Some people wear a full suit. I used to wear a tie every day in my 20s.
Yeah, nobody likes ties.
Yes, I learned that.
It's true.
So I think there's a
I
few
mean, ties look good, but like, who actually wants something that's strangling them all day? That's my question.
I don't know who thought of that. I think it was, maybe the English. I don't know the origin of the necktie. Conversation for a different competition. We ever have like a Zoolander style fashion competition, blue steel. So your opener. So your opener, there's a few that you could choose. We actually did poll. I'll run through a few for the audience. There's like a humor opener where you say, "Hey, this is a cold call. Hate making cold calls. I'm sure you hate getting one." So that's like pattern interrupt. There's just a basic
the Sandler method.
Sandler method. There's also the Aaron Ross method, which is sort of, did I catch you at a bad time? It still works. It's sort of like a negative label, which is something that comes out of Chris Voss and Josh Braun. There's also just barreling right in with your value proposition. And your one, which is just like, how are you doing? You just kind of ask them about their business. So we've talked about a few that you might use. What are you settled on? What are you going to try first?
Well, I'm kind of going to do my own little thing. So it's really just going to be like a friendly intro. And it's going to be just the introduction. I might say that I might play off of, I'm a CEO doing a cold call right now. So if you want to give me the time, let's do it.
Yeah, transparent. I call stuff like that breaking the fourth wall, which is from Shakespeare when the actors would turn in soliloquy and talk to the audience. And so anytime I'm revealing what I'm doing as a seller, I call it breaking the fourth wall. So I'm like, oh, you opened my email 27 times. I'm sure they know we track them at this point, but you're admitting it. So there's a transparency to that.
Right.
Cool. So I would say your method
right.
is.
But in this case, I'm calling all people that I have never spoken to in my entire life and don't know we exist. That's the key. True cold call.
Yeah. I feel you. So.
Oh, here.
Yeah, hello?
Hey, Alex, how's it going? This is Rob Turley with White Rabbit Intel, and you are on a recorded call. Is that okay?
Sure, yeah.
For sure. So I'll introduce myself real quick. I'm co-founder, co-CEO, and believe it or not, yes, you're on a cold call with the CEO. It's kind of crazy, right? But point is, I did want to ask, what are your responsibilities in the company when it comes to targeting accuracy and your prospecting methods, your sales methods?
I'd be happy to tell you once you tell me what your responsibilities are within your company and what does your company do, and tell me a little bit about
for sure. Not a problem. So I am the CEO. I'm one of the founders. And what we do is that we build artificial intelligence technology, sales enablement AI, that enables sales and marketing teams to know more, win more, and close often. So increase close ratio, decrease cost of new customer acquisition, expedite the elimination process, and really kill it on the opportunity identification process.
Okay. All right. And is it geared towards certain industries?
No. So we are actually industry agnostic, but we've worked with people from the insurance industry to the sales outsourcing industry, all the way to the computer software industry and beyond.
Okay. All right. So do you know a little bit about us and what kind of industry we're in and what we do?
So I don't know too much about you. So if you could fill me in, that'd be great, because I'd rather hear it from the horse's mouth.
Yeah. So we are a commercial real estate investment firm, where, frankly, in our specific, our niche is a little bit different from others in that we buy partial interest in existing ownership structures where there's a need for liquidity. So I have to be honest, I would very much struggle to see how, at least at this point, hopefully I'm not going to be booted out of my job because for the sake of AI. But I would struggle to see how it would be helpful unless you can tell me.
For sure. So I'd like to ask a little bit first about how do you get in touch with the people that you do business with? What's the main disposition, and what is the main objection, as well as what is the main value proposition that you have to offer to the people that you direct your sales toward?
Sure. So we meet them in person because we would be, in all likelihood, coming into, we want to ingratiate ourselves into an existing ownership structure. So we're going to be an unobtrusive partner of theirs in the future. So we meet them and we speak with them, and our proposition is to buy out either partners or buy down a piece of their own equity in a seamless manner. And
for sure,
and we are I guess, as well, hopefully elegantly replacing capital in the existing ownership structure of buildings, commercial property across the U.S. and Europe.
Gotcha. That makes sense. That's awesome. I actually may have some people I could refer to you in that case, because I know some people that are selling some commercial properties right now. So that'll be a whole different conversation. Though I'd like to ask, how do you propose? So when you meet with them in person, how do you source those contacts? How do you know who to meet?
Well, trade shows, conferences, brokers, lawyers, referrals. It's 100% referrals or chance encounters at conferences.
For sure. And do you have any way to identify or just immediately know who is going to be a valuable contact? Before you reach out to them or before you meet them in person, is there any way for you to know that, yes, this person is actually an opportunity and I have a high probability of success here?
Yeah. I mean, that's generally the through warm introductions, right? Instead of cold ones. So warm ones from either intermediaries or, frankly, friends for the most part, actually. Or it's, just getting on the topic of what they do when meeting them at conferences.
Sure. And what are you doing to, I guess, grow your referral network?
Pounding the pavement.
Pounding the pavement. Got you. Have you ever thought of using any like digital means, being able to utilize LinkedIn to be able to find those people, to reach out to them in different methodologies that don't take so much time and resources?
Yeah. I mean, we well, I guess when it comes to LinkedIn and that kind of stuff, for sure, we use it. Other more industry-specific digital platforms like CoStar, we use that stuff.
Oh, sure, I'm very familiar.
And then other, well, I guess, yeah, that's probably it, I think.
Yeah, CoStar would make sense because that's what the majority of people use, right? And then LinkedIn's good too. So rather than going through CoStar,
I mean,
yes.
Yes. By the way, I'm based in Europe, right? I'm in London. So CoStar is big in the U.S. and it's getting bigger in the U.K., but it's not existent in Europe.
Yeah, true. That is true. I actually know somebody who aggregates data on buildings specifically that I can introduce you to. His name is Andy. He's got the best of the best data on that. Even how many people live in the household. If you're trying to look for people who are, let's say, landlords and so on, if you're trying to buy into that, I can make that introduction, and I'd be happy to. So that'd be great. Actually, you know what? Is there anything in particular that you're looking for?
Well, we're yeah. I mean, I guess we have a top-down and a bottom-up approach, right? So we are bottom-up in that we're reactive to where the interesting opportunities are, and that in ownership structures where there's a real need for liquidity, and that is something I would struggle to see is can be figured out through digital platforms. That's like one investor in one partner in a partnership needs to sell because whatever, they have to fund a surgery or something, right? Like there's so many different reasons why people need to sell. So I mean, I guess it'd be along those lines, or simply understanding the overall strategy of companies. Some people are shifting away from one asset type to another, but then we also have more of a top-down, I guess, thematics approach, and so like for instance, we're very interested in Central London office right now, but very top quality Central London office, or we'd be interested in probably life science buildings, life science specific buildings in a certain corridor in the UK.
Got you. So I can propose to you this, is that I think I can help you with that, not only with a referral, but when it comes to who's going to be selling and when. So my company, we specialize in psychographic analytics. So if something's going on in their life, if something is changing in a company, we also deal with firmographic, demographic, and geographic data. That is stuff that we can often find, and we can often be able to tell you, hey, this person is going to qualify to X, Y, and Z for X, Y, and Z reasons, because something is happening in their life, something is happening within their company. So if you were to take a list of all the people who are the building owners, run them through our system, we would be able to tell you the probability that you would have a successful encounter with them to buy the equity or just buy out their building.
Well, let's see. Okay, I mean, we never buy out buildings, by the way. We only buy partial interest in ownership structures.
Sure, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, if there's like a proposal that you are able to put together, you know, I would be able to share it and discuss it with my colleagues back in New York. So we're based in New York. Like I said, I'm in London. We also have an office in Frankfurt. Yeah, I mean, if it's something you think that could be interesting to our business, then you know, of course we're all ears.
Absolutely. Be more than happy to. Would you like me to give you a follow-up call once I have that said proposal?
Yeah, sure. We can do that. Could you email me something in advance?
Yep, I absolutely can. And is there a date that would make sense for you to for the follow-up? If you want me to call you, what's like a good time?
I mean, never.
after the email, of course, and I understand. Trust me, I'm a CEO of my company. I never have time. So just give me just give me a date and like a relative time frame.
How far out?
I'd probably be able to get it to you in about a week, 2 weeks.
Okay, so all right. Should we just do 2 weeks from today? My AM would be better. Where are you based? In the U.S.?
Yep, I'm in North Carolina, so I'm Eastern time, and so you're 6 hours ahead of me right now.
I'm 5 hours. I'm in London. Oh wait, did you guys have your daylight saving times yet?
No, no, not yet. That's why it's 6.
5 hours. 5 hours. No, it's 5 hours to London and 6 hours to the rest of Europe. So let's see. Yeah, like I don't know, 9 a.m. your time on Monday, the 22nd.
Sure, that's totally fine.
Okay.
That's actually the best time for me because I have it blocked out. Perfect.
Okay.
Take a note of that. And I will give you a call back and I will send you a follow-up email, all right?
Okay, what's your name again?
My name is Rob Turley. Nice to meet you.
Rob Turley. Nice to meet you. I'm Alex Lukesh.
Of course. And I will send you that follow-up email. I'll give you some information and I'll also make that introduction, all right?
Okay, super. All right. Thanks,
all right.
Rob.
Perfect. Talk to you later.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye.
Great job, Rob.
Oh, thank you very much.
I feel like Morgan Freeman and Bruce Almighty here. Like I just hover in from the clouds while you do business. Yeah, you want to disposition the call as meeting set, little slider there, and then hit start again and get your numbers going.
Oh, I did it as send information.
Oh, perfect. Okay, but I would count that as a meeting. So great job.
Yeah, no, it is. I just I wasn't given a lot of training on this, so I just did send information because I actually didn't read down the rest of the list. So I didn't know there was a meeting set option.
Yeah. Yeah, so great job.
So 9 a.m. Monday, 2 weeks from now.
Yeah. There's a question from the audience about, let's see, can you target state data, specific states?
We could target really any data. It's just that if you're looking for building information, that sometimes gets difficult, or building owner. That's why CoStar is pretty good, because most buildings are owned by a company that's owned by a company that's owned by a holding company that's owned by a person. So it's very difficult. There's a lot of threading in there. So when it comes to commercial real estate data, it's quite difficult to acquire and very expensive.
Yeah, how do we get into that business? That seems lucrative.
It's actually not, because it's not lucrative. A lot of it's manual because they don't actually make it digital. Or you need a real estate license to even get it.
Oh God, interesting. Okay, well, let's keep going. Tell me about your methodology, like what what was going through your head. I mean, what I loved about it, as the MC, is that you weren't, in this case, you weren't urgent to get the meeting. You were urgent to find out his business. And he really responded well to that, because I think a lot of us that are doing
who the hell wants to be rushed? That's my question to you is, who the hell wants to be rushed? I don't want to just get pitched something. If you pitch to me right off the bat, I hang up on you and tell you to try again. Like, you can call me again. I even give permission to do so. Yeah, call me again. Try again. Just do not pitch to me. Oh,
well, so far, man. I mean, you've got
hello. Hey, Alex Arnold. How you doing? This is Rob Turley with White Rabbit Intel. I'm co-CEO and co-founder. I would like to be able to ask you a couple of questions if you're open to it.
What do you do?
What do I do? Oh, well, I mean, good question. But I'll kind of sum it up into a one sentence, because it's complicated, but it's really not complicated in the end. But we build artificial intelligence, specifically sales enablement artificial intelligence, so that sales and marketing teams can know more, win more, and close often.
Okay.
So I was interested in understanding, what are you currently doing with your targeting processes, with your elimination processes, and what is your close ratio looking like? Because that's where we specialize, and I would love to be able to work with somebody out in Boston.
You got the wrong guy, because I'm not in sales.
So could you tell me a little bit about what you do?
I'm an equity analyst.
Equity analyst, interesting. That's actually something I wanted to do in my life that I ended up not doing.
Probably a good call.
Probably a good call. That's funny. Would you be able to refer me to the right person?
Trying to think of, so yeah. I mean, I think that you probably want to talk to. We have sort of siloed trading desks, lots of cross fertilization, so there's basically different products. There's different people in charge of, say, distressed credit versus CMBS versus equities versus, So I mean,
sure.
I think that the guy might be Neil Thomas.
Okay.
Actually, why don't you just? I would reach out to Chris Tolla.
So I'll put
who sort of runs.
And how do you spell Tolla?
Tolla.
So not the way I thought. Awesome. And what is Neil Thomas's and Chris Tolla's titles?
Yeah, I wouldn't reach out to Neil. He'll just get angry, probably.
I wouldn't do it the way that you think. I wouldn't just call him. I would just message him.
Chris Tolla is in charge of compliance, but he also is in charge of IT. So most of the systems that come into play would run through him. So he's not a compliance guy in the sense that he just monitors what everyone's doing. He's actually pretty integral to the framework process, all that stuff.
To the framework process. Love it.
Well, framework and process and anything that's, any sort of foundation or systems that support that.
Sure. And what does Neil Thomas do, just for the sake of, so I know?
Oh, he's in charge of, he's basically in charge of our cap structure business, which would be, he looks across bonds, equities, everything that sort of runs through, the capital formation process.
Got you. And who would be the person that is leading your sales team to find new prospects?
That's my problem. So I work at a horizontal level across a bunch of efforts at my firm. So you would be looking at. Neil's interesting in that, because he's looking at the full capital structure, it also works across different products. But if you think of them as products, you've got equities, which would mean our constituency or our buyers of, research, say, or trading would be people who invest in equities. Then you've got, corporate credit, and then you've got all sorts of structured products, and all of those are individual efforts from a sales and trading standpoint.
Interesting. I may be one of your clients then at some point.
Okay.
For sure. Well, I appreciate that. I'll give Chris Tolla a call, or what's the best method of contact for him, really?
I think that you just see Tolla at Odeon Cap. would be his email. And, it's the 2000s, so emails don't necessarily float to the surface. So his number is, I don't even know, because we're on a corporate phone. It's whatever the number in front of mine. No, actually, mine's different because I'm not in their state. Let me just look up his extension is 6177. If you just call the main line, I guess.
6177?
Yeah.
Perfect. I could do that. That's for sure. And ctola at adioncap.com. That's perfect.
Odioncap, yep.
Yeah, I just pronounced it wrong.
Yeah, it's all good.
Odioncap.com. Yes, got you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And Alex, I appreciate your time today. And I look forward to potentially doing business with you as a customer soon.
All right, cool. We'll see you later.
Perfect. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, Rob, that's 2 for 2. And what can't you do? You got a meeting and referral. I feel like I'm playing bowling with you and you're just strikes and spares, like that game where it's not fun. You haven't seen your friend in a while. They just slaughter you at, chess or pool or bowling. That's how this feels. You're like, yeah, I don't cold call much, but you believe in your product. So I think that's what's really, and you're very curious about what they actually do. A lot of people would hear, equity trading, and they just kind of fall off. But somebody in that business is using digital targeting. Somebody.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, it's just, you just got to be chill. It's true. You just got to be chill.
I don't know. If I had an espresso, I wouldn't be that chill, but I try. So let's see the methods you're using. I mean, curiosity. You're really using a lot of active listening, and you're probing much deeper than a lot of people. You're not going for the meeting. You're waiting and really trying to dig into what they do, who they do it with, what's going on inside that company. And you're genuinely interested. You're also not pushing toward your tech. You're just trying to push toward their business model, which I think is another thing, because you're a CEO. It's a pretty sophisticated thing. You might not realize you're doing it, but a lot of people, that their goal is like, I need a meeting. And you hear them, okay, let me get the meeting Tuesday, Thursday.
Well, this is one of the problems in the market. This is what my company proves, is that it's not about the number of meetings you make. Like for example, if someone worked for me, I couldn't so if you got 35 meetings in a week, fantastic. If you closed one, there's a fucking problem. So if you had 3 meetings in a week, let's say another salesperson, and then they closed 2, I wouldn't have a problem with them, because they're taking the time to get to know them, to get to know their problems, and to work with them. If things are rushed, the business is rushed. If the business is rushed, then guess what? You're not actually helping the person. You're just trying to add to your commission. And that's that. It's selfish. The more that sales can work as a team, the better off they're going to be. And the more that sales can report to marketing, the better marketing could be. Because marketing says that sales needs to learn from marketing. But guess what? Marketing needs to learn from sales. But they need to learn from the sales data. The sales team needs to be reporting on why people are buying from them, because they talk to the customers every single day and close them. Why do people buy from me? Why do they buy from us? What is our value? Why are people giving us their money? That's how the marketing team should be marketing the message. And they should be learning on who to target based off of who the sales team can sell to, not just who's interested.
What's very interesting is there's no rebuttals happening on these calls. I want everyone to take note, because rebuttals happen from friction and commission breath, and they feel it's a script, they feel cornered. But because Rob is just actually genuinely, tonally interested, it's very disarming. He's not rushing them toward a meeting, and he's not rushing toward talking about his tech. So they're sitting there talking to an actually curious person about their business. And it's a huge pattern interrupt that you're running, mainly because you are a salesperson, you're a CEO, founder, but you're not, like, you're actually just trying to figure out the fit. You're qualifying. So you're deeper into the sales process, in my opinion. So there's a lesson here.
And I'm trying to help them, bring them value. I'm going to give these people introductions to people that can help them that they're having other problems with. I have a very extensive network, and I'm very open with it.
Yeah.
If I can't help them, someone else can. That's the end of that, you know?
There's a guy named Barry Rhein who has a curiosity selling method. I'm trying to pinpoint in my head, what you're doing. Is the dialer running?
I have no classical sales training. I was just a bartender with a silver tongue. That's it.
I used to tend bar. I love that. I had a roommate once, and he ended up running a venue. He said, tell everybody you used to tend bar. Turned out he was a bar back at a Chili's. We found out like 10 years later, he had a lot of stories, but he didn't actually tend bar, but it worked. He told everyone he did. Where did you bartend?
Oh, I bartended at a bunch of places. I mean, one would include Club Lavo in New York. It's one of the best nightclubs in New York. I mean, my God. So you'd make what on a good Saturday, $2,500 in tips alone, and that's after it's split. Crazy. So really good stuff. But otherwise, no, I bartended at Carolina Ale House in North Carolina. I bartended at another bar in North Carolina that was not North Carolina, New York. That was just like a dive bar. I've bartended at parties. I do private parties. I actually have a liquor license, so I can be the bar. It's kind of funny. We charge people, be the bar, all cash bar. It's a fun time. And then I still do that to this day because it's fun. And then I bartended at Red Monkey Latin Fusion, which was a Latin restaurant. I would only do events for them, so it was like Latin dance events with DJs, everything like that. So I'm a point bartender, which means you point, what do you want, what do you want, what do you want, what do you want? You take all the orders, you're making them. As you're making them, what do you want, what do you want, what do you want, what do you want? When there's hundreds of people and you're just overwhelmed, I like the really stressful, overwhelming bartending.
This is amazing. So I don't know if we call this the Turley bartending method, but it seems to be working pretty well. I just want to do a quick tech check. Is your dialer moving? Are you seeing everything moving on your screen?
Yeah, no, it's moving on the screen. Everything's working. I would tell you if it wasn't.
Okay, perfect. I want to thank the sponsors. This is all being hosted by Rev Garage, revenuegarage.com. Thank you to Vidyard, to Slintel, Connect and Sell, Lead IQ, and Revenue Grid. And yeah, and then my thing, the Salesborgs.ai. We don't know what the AI is yet. I think for now, that AI is me.
Oh, no, I think it might be me. It's going to be me.
Yeah. So you realize that one human brain, we were talking about computer speed, is equal to all compute. Like if you strung every supercomputer together on Earth, I still don't think the clock speed can catch Rob Turley's brain. Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, well, thank you. That's sweet.
I mean, it's true though. What I'm inspiring the listeners is that your brain is still very much more powerful than a supercomputer, and the way you're synthesizing and improvising on the call. So you want to learn the method, but I think what Rob's proving here is be human and just talk to a human being and be curious about, what do they do, who they are, and be genuine.
Yeah, don't just jam it down their throat, because what do people care about? They care about themselves. They care about their own company, but most importantly, they care about themselves. So you need to give them that self-enrichment. You need to tell them it's validation. That's the most important thing. You need to validate. You need to solution, and you need to have executive presence. And while you're validating and solutioning, you should be driving value with everything that you say. So I always say that if you've been on a call with me and you haven't learned something, you weren't talking to me.
I learn something every day. Trust me. Let's see, I'm just helping some people get online here to see the match. I don't know if you're a boxing fan. I met Muhammad Ali when I was 8 at a Laker game, 1988.
That's
Lakers,
awesome.
Celtics, the back-to-back championships, if you can believe it. Paula Abdul was on the Laker girls, and Muhammad Ali was giving away pamphlets in the audience. Totally crazy.
Really? She was one of the Lakers girls?
1988. It goes way back.
I didn't know that. That's funny.
Yeah, I used to have a program, and I just like Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I mean, it was the golden era, back-to-back championships. But yeah, that's the one famous boxer I've actually met. And yeah, it's quite an art form. I compare a lot of things to boxing because there's a lot of counterintuitive movements in training to box. There's a lot of things in cold calling where act naturally. That won't work. Our natural inclination is to be pleasant, to be nice, and to be civil, and you get knocked down if you do that.
No, that's not natural. That's called being socially normative. That's what that's called. Being natural is talking to someone like they're your friend.
Right. When you finally get to the state of a trusted advisor and it's your friend, you know this person, and they're like, oh, there's this real estate deal, and you're going to make 40%. You're like, yeah, that sounds a little, don't do that. I mean, I always love those commercials with Billy D. Williams trying to sell real estate, late night TV. But, there's an element. The problem is that if you sell and you only show the good side, this is what Todd Capone is talking about with the transparency sale, right? You have to be willing to be honest and push back and challenge right? Like we were saying on the call, talking about CoStar, you're talking about how they actually could use this. You weren't necessarily saying you could solve all their problems. There's a tendency for cold callers to have that used car lot mentality where it's all going to be perfect. So that's why I'm sourcing this.
I got you. Yeah, there's no such thing as perfect. And that's what does it, though, is that you have to drive imperfection, both theirs and yours. And that's the thing. That's part of being human. And for example, I have a podcast. It's called Down the Rabbit Hole. It's on Podbean. Yeah, I know. I'm not trying to advertise it, but the thing is that nothing is scripted, nothing at all. Because as soon as you script a podcast, nobody wants to listen to it because it is expected. It's a set of questions. It's the same podcast over and over again with a different topic. It should always be natural. It should be organic. And that's the same thing as sales. What I like to say is that selling is not a process. Selling is a structure. There's no sales process. The process is just entering the data into the CRM, doing the things you're supposed to do every single day. That's the process. Selling is a structure. And I was talking to Roger Jefferson. He's the guy who coined the term sales enablement. And the biggest part about that is that with sales enablement, it's giving the tools and the requirements that a sales team needs to be able to be successful. So I'd like to say that selling is a structure because it's not a process, because that creates an agenda that makes it so you have to talk about what you're talking about. No, you talk about what the buyer wants, and that is the core of the buyer's journey. The buyer's journey is all that matters because it's just based off of what they want to talk about, because it's about them. You're not there to sell them something. You're there to help them buy something. You're there to help them solve a problem. And so the reason I call it a sales structure is, think of a warehouse. You're giving a tour of a warehouse. You can walk all around the warehouse, anywhere inside, anywhere upstairs, downstairs, or wherever else. The only thing that you don't want them to do is to leave, to walk out the door. That's why it's a structure. Don't walk out the door, but let them go wherever they need to go to get there. They'll understand.
Rob, I love hearing you philosophize, and I can do it all day and night. Are you finding, is everything dialing? I'm just making sure your equipment is smooth.
Yeah, everything's dialing, just no one's picking up.
Busy Monday. What I found is Zoom slams, 16 Zooms a day. It's kind of funny. Sometimes I call it weird hours when I personally cold call 4 in the afternoon or things. Yeah, just a little technical check-in.
I call people at about 3, 4 p.m. But it's a Monday. It's one of the worst days for cold calling. So same thing with Fridays, but it's what is it? It's Wednesdays and Thursdays are the best day for it, from what I've read.
No worries. I just don't want to talk over the beep and get caught if you beep. Let's see. So we've talked about methodology. Why don't you try a different one this time when you connect? Maybe a humor opener, or I don't know. You've been doing well. I don't want to throw you too much experimentation.
Well, it depends. When they pick up, it depends on what they say. That's when I say what I say, is because they said something. So I'm not doing this based off of scripts. So I started writing scripts last night and this morning. I completely ditched them. I threw them in the garbage, literally in the garbage, because I cannot sell based off the script. It's not natural.
I usually use a bunch of different methods. I have one that I created, but I really like to just seem natural. I like to pronounce their full name because I'm trying to check the data, and then from there, I try to move away from things like "How are you? How are you doing?" Anything that's, like you said, socially normative that they're expecting. I'm a huge proponent of pattern interrupts, and that's why what my takeaway from Sandler is just do pattern interrupts, do things people aren't expecting. And I think you're doing that right now with the curiosity side of the house. So yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I know. I mean, I learned a lot of my sales methodology recently from Marcus Kauke. So he's awesome. Oh, call. Hello. Hey, Greg, how's it going? This is Rob Turley with White Rabbit Intel. You're on a recorded line, if that's all right. And I want to know if you had a little bit of time to have me ask you some questions.
About?
So that's one thing. I need to learn a little bit about you first, but to introduce myself, I'm co-founder, co-CEO. Oh, I'm co-founder and co-CEO at White Rabbit Intel.
What does White Rabbit Intel do?
That's a very good question. I'll tell you why we exist first, is that we exist solely to enable sales and marketing teams to achieve more, to close more, to win more, and to know more. So we build sales enablement artificial intelligence technology, leveraging psychographic analytics. And as far as we know, we're the only company in the B2B market that offers psychographic analytics. But before, I'm not trying to like pitch you or anything like that. I'm way too high up for that crap. But what I want to know is a little bit more about you to see if there's potential to collaborate with you.
I'm thinking probably not, because you'd have to go through our corporate parent.
Well, who is your corporate parent?
First American Financial.
First American Financial. Hold on, let me take note of this real quick. First American Financial. And who would be the person to contact there?
Good question. I don't know. I'm not that far up the food chain. I don't deal with corporate, but I know that.
Do you have a person that I could potentially call, or like a number?
No, I don't. I don't communicate with corporate other than sometimes it might be somebody in the corporate marketing or corporate sales, but I don't know. It's a big ass corporation, and I try to stay away from them.
I get that. So are you a franchisee?
No, we are a wholly owned subsidiary.
Perfect. And so just quick question is that what are you currently doing to drive elimination of dead end leads, and what are you currently doing to drive identification of opportunities so that your sales team isn't wasting time running in a circle? Because if you didn't know,
I don't manage the sales team anymore.
Well,
but what we've done in the past is what's worked for us. We primarily work off of referrals, and that's how we do. We work with the lenders' account executives, and we market through trade shows. And it's basically referral based, our entire business.
And have you done anything outside of just referrals, or what have you done to build that referral network?
Stayed on the phone, traveled extensively.
Oh yeah, for sure. But with after COVID, have you switched to digital?
We're trying digital. I've got a presence on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, trying to think of what else. We have some stuff out there on Vimeo. So we're chipping away at it.
For sure. I mean, have you ever thought of any sales enablement technologies to help you get there? Because, I mean, literally what we do is help people become diverse in the digital world so that you could be effective. That's why we exist.
Well, we're working with Microsoft now on an integration.
Sure.
But that came down with corporate. But we're working with a Microsoft integration right now.
So we don't need to work all the way up high with corporate. I mean, because what we do is that we help salespeople eliminate faster.
Yeah, I understand that, but I can't work with you unless you're approved by corporate as a vendor.
Oh, yes, that's similar. So we work with New York Life. It's very similar with that, is that corporate approval took like 6 months, and then we're working with smaller subsets within their company right now. So that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Is there, I already asked you if there's a contact for it, but
I have no idea, dude, who does that up there.
Who would you think, title-wise, would be the right person to call about that?
I don't know. I have specific people that I work with up there, but none of them are at any sort of that level. I don't know who you talk to about being an approved vendor with First American Financial.
Would you be able to introduce me to one of the people that you talk to at corporate, then I can ask them? Is that okay?
I'd have to talk to them first before I get out their contact information.
Okay, for sure. Would I be able to send you an email with some information so that you can forward it to them and then see how that goes?
Yeah, that'll work.
Oh, for sure. And what is your email address?
It's GCHAFFIN, Chafin.
Is that F as in?
Fast forward. 2 F's.
So GCHAFFIN.
IN
is in Nancy?
Yep. At firstfundingusa.com. That's all spelled out.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And I'll send you an email. I mean, I'm a pretty busy guy because I own the company. So I will send you a follow-up either later this afternoon if I can't get to it, then tomorrow morning. And then I will let you take it from there since you have your due process, which is important. And please let me know what they think, because I think I can help you first I need to speak to them, help you and help them, and then have everybody start adapting and adjusting to the virtual environment much better. So that's why we're here. And I think it would be a lot of fun, because once you start really getting that process down, it becomes a lot of fun to do social selling and so on.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. I'll look for your email.
All righty. Sounds good. Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Rob, I'm telling you, man, it's like, what can't you do? It's like a master class here. I want to say, like, I mean, you have a liquid cooled computer behind you. I mean, this is one of those things where you told me you don't do a lot of cold calling, but I have a weird theory that you have done like 20,000 hours of cold calling. Like if you had a pool shark and you went down and like, yeah, I've never really played.
So you want to know how many hours of cold calling I've done total, like before this?
I mean, it looks like it's all you do from what I'm seeing. I mean, I'm just a little shocked at
So I have done a total of about maybe 6 hours of cold calling in my entire life.
Well, you're just, I mean, you see, this is the thing. Entrepreneurship is making something out of nothing. So when you have to go raise money, create a company, hire people, it's all sales.
Oh, got another one. Hey, Emma Watson, how's it going?
Yeah, not too bad. Who's speaking, sorry?
This is Rob Turley. I am the co-founder and co-CEO at White Rabbit Intel. Nice to meet you.
Hello, yes. I'm literally about to join a call for International Women's Day, so this isn't a good time, unfortunately.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Happy International Women's Day. Would you like me to call you back at a different time? Is there a time that works?
Tomorrow, roughly at the same time, might be a good idea.
Sure thing. I could do so. Have fun, and thank you so much for your time and picking up for me.
No worries. All right, cheers. Bye. Bye.
Cheers.
I must say, like, I just sometimes wish I had an English accent, you know? It's pretty cool.
If you want an English accent, you just need to pretend you have one. It's not that hard.
I'll get in trouble if I do my English accent, because the British really, they get offended. It fools Americans, but they're just like, it's atrocious. It's so bad. It kind of, it's on the edge of Australian. Yeah, so, okay. Let's just keep rolling, keep rocking and rolling.
I mean, that's what, 4 for 4?
Yeah, I mean, you just one technicality of someone having a call, but yeah, you've been crushing it, man. I mean,
well, she said call back the same time tomorrow, so.
Well, that's true. That's we'll have to let the judges decide that one. The judges? We'll have to let the judges decide that one, Mr. Turley.
I think that's fair, because she said, you know what, call back the same time tomorrow. That's got to be it. Oh, there's another one. Hey, Duetto, how's it going? David, am I speaking to David? Hello?
You'll get dropped.
Hello?
You can probably just let that
Hey,
one.
David, can you hear me? I'll redial.
Yeah, I would just read out. That happens sometimes. You get drop connects. It happens in any system.
Oh, I got you. One sec. Let's redial.
Hello, you've reached David Wellenberg, 917-544-2497. Please leave a message, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, David, how's it going? This is Rob Turley with White Rabbit Intel, and I'm just calling to ask a couple questions. We're doing some research in the market, want to find out a little bit more about people's sales processes, how all that's going. So I would appreciate if you give me a call back. You can give me a call back at +1 919 335 3059. It would be great to have a chat with you, and I would appreciate a call back on that. Thank you.
All right, well played with the voicemail. Drop, I like that. There's tech now to just pre-record them. I like to do them custom. I still believe in inflection points. We have about 10 minutes left in the match. It's been a stellar performance. I want to thank the sponsors, Slintel, Vidyard, Lead IQ, Connect and Sell, Revenue Grid. All you got to do is go to revenuegarage.com, share this link, revenuegarage.com. We have another match coming up at 8:30 Pacific, 11:30 Eastern with Sarah Brazier. And we're going to be running 2 of these a day for the next 3 days. And yeah, really loving your techniques, man. It's really cool to see.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah. We're the Flying Elvises, Utah chapter. Remember that movie? Back when Nicolas Cage used to make good movies before his financial troubles. More espresso. Uh-oh. It's on.
It's gone. That was the rest of it. It's unfortunate. I could always make more.
So, I mean, a lot of cold calling is dealing with rejection and rebuttals, but I haven't seen any yet. You're like, Neo in the Matrix. If you want to talk about going down the rabbit hole here, people have been in a nice mood and been talking with you.
You have to understand, though, that I used my artificial intelligence technology in order to build the ICP for this list that Connect and Sell was nice enough to generate for me because I did not have the time to do it myself because I have zero time every day. So everybody that I'm calling is a good fit to sell to. That's the thing. So I've got no worries. Companies we've worked with, they went from a 0.5% cold call positive outcome rate to a 7.3% cold call positive outcome rate in 2 weeks. And that's an outsourced SDR company. I mean, how do you beat that?
Here's the thing, though. I don't know if you're much of a golfer, but I'm more of a caddy.
Oh, I am.
By nature. So you can give me the best golf club in the world. What is it? What's a good driver now? $2,500? Like a beryllium driver? You can give me titanium, Big Bertha. I don't know.
No. That'll be $700 to $1,000.
So you can give me that one, and then I'll give you like a 1975 wooden driver, steel driver, and you'll crush me because I don't golf. I don't even go to the driving range. I've got no form. So I mean, it's great that you leverage intent data, but I still would argue that your techniques on these phone calls are what's creating the success because you're non-salesy. That's the hard thing. The minute they feel the pattern is salesy, it's all recoil. So the techniques I try to help people do, and whatever you embrace as far as a method is, do you want to be showing them a salesiness, or you want to be consultative and you're helping them solve something, or you're curious about what's going on? So I think you've straddled that line. It's immediately like, whoa, he's not selling me. And so for those,
right. Consultative is always good because what do C-suite, this is my point of targeting C-suite VPs and director level. And when it's director like at a like board level, like a board director. That's what I'm targeting here. And the whole point behind that is to show that having executive presence and being able to problem solve is the biggest thing, is that you need to ask them questions, because what do these people do every day for work? They need to solve problems, not be sold to. If you're not helping them solve a problem, they're not going to give you their time of day. That is a fact.
I like it. Yeah, that's true. And we were talking earlier with James Townsend over at Connect Cell, that even mentioning your technology early is not a good idea. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, feature selling and product selling is one of the weakest forms of sales. If you're trying to sell a product, or if you're trying to sell in general, you're not going to be very good at selling, if not sell anything at all. It's not about the product. It's not about the service. Everybody's got products. Everybody's got services. Everybody has features. Everybody has blah, 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 but no one gives a shit. The difference is that, can you actually help them do something that they are struggling at doing? That is the ultimate question. That's all they want. They don't care about your product. It's a novelty. What they care about is, how can I implement this into my business? And that's coming straight up from a CEO. If someone calls me and they don't help me try to find out how to fix something or how it will implement into my business, I'm not going to talk to you, because you are literally wasting my time. I could be solving other problems.
Totally agree with everything you're saying. We only have 5 more minutes left in the meet. I hope we get one more connect and can see you in action. Yeah, it just flew by. I'm one of these strange cats that actually enjoys not only doing cold calls but talking about it. There's quite a lot going into it. I mean, it is like boxing, because the minute you're live, your brain, the prospect's brain, I mean, there's a lot of fight or flight. There's a lot of evolution. There's a lot of, two people, is it safe? Can I trust this person? There's a lot of like nanosecond thin slice neuroscience stuff happening. It's a lot like squaring off in a ring, but these are metaphors. You really want to be collaborating and facilitating a buying process, and it's not really a fight at all. It's a
right. But instead of that adrenaline that comes up, you need to convert that to serotonin if you're talking neurosciences. Because so first off, the thing of the chemical in your brain that keeps you from doing things because you feel lazy or I don't want it, that's norepinephrine. Norepinephrine is canceled out by serotonin, right? Because when you release norepinephrine and you're doing something lazy, the lazy thing that you're doing is releasing dopamine. It's the reward system. But if you're able to release serotonin, that cancels out norepinephrine, so it gives you drive. Once you have enough drive doing something, you have to turn it into a habit. And when you make that habitual, you get norepinephrine when you're being lazy. Like, it creates norepinephrine when you're being lazy, and it scares you out of it. So that serotonin forms, and you become almost addicted to it. It's a chemical when you're being productive. So being productive is the key, and training yourself to do that, because everything is habit-based. Your dopamine receptors will always fire when you're succeeding at something. And when you're actually being productive and succeeding, that is the ultimate drug. It's better than drugs.
Well, I think that's a good place to adjourn the calling ad is better than drugs. Well, we're talking about neuroscience and positive chemicals here. So you know a lot about neuroscience. It's cool. It's also a passion of mine. And we just have a few more minutes here. We'll give it a little whirl and see if you can connect.
Hopefully I get one more connect. I'll try to make that a quick call. I'll try to do the standard, cold caller, like, hey, how's it going? I don't have time right now, but blah, 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 like that, the whole thing. We'll see how that works. Just the shotgun fire, whatever thing.
Yep.
Oh, wow. It's calling like 8 people right now. Look at that.
Amazing. So this is just the first round, and you've pulled ahead. You've got a lot of good calls here, referrals, meetings. That's how we work. We're not scoring this purely off meetings. We're going off referral, because that's important. Because we're doing highly matrixed calls, even depending on transactional or SMB. You've got 5 to 8 decision makers, right? So you have to multi-thread. So referrals are key. Figuring out who's the CEO in charge of the problem. In this case, White Rabbit is targeting. And sometimes that is owned by marketing or sales. Could be the founder or CEO in a smaller company. So it's kind of cool to see the techniques.
The benefit of it is it's auto elimination, but it's also identifying opportunities that fit where you're going to have a positive encounter. So, any enterprise company has an average of about 11 influencers that are going to influence a deal. You can have a bunch of people in that company, but who do you contact? Well, most people think that it's the budget holder because they have their hand in the pocketbook, right? And then some people think the CEO because they're all the way at the top. Well, that's not always true. The thing is that you should contact the person that you will resonate with best, that you will have the best encounter with. So that should be the person that you're calling, that you're emailing, that you're texting, or whatever else that you're doing. And that's what we're able to do, is determine this person at this company out of these 11. Hello?
Hey, it's Edouard.
Hey, Edouard. How you doing? This is Rob Turley, co-founder, co-CEO at White Rabbit Intel. How you doing?
Good.
Fantastic. This is a recorded line. Just wanted to let you know I have to.
Okay.
For sure. So, Edouard, please tell me. I'm asking a couple of different questions about how people's sales processes are going and how they can enable their sales and marketing teams to crush it. So I'd like to hear a little bit more about what y'all are doing to understand what it is that your process is and how you're killing it in the market today.
Look, so we're like brokers, and we have pretty sort of targeted client conversations with specific people.
Sure.
So it sounds like you're selling some kind of general CRM system or something like that. And
no,
yes, really
no. I don't deal in CRMs, brother.
What are you doing?
Oh, I do sales enablement artificial intelligence.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's not for us. I appreciate the call, but I don't think we're a natural home for that. All right?
Oh, no problem, man. I tried my best. That's what counts.
Take care. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.
All right. Yeah, I'm not the coach from the MC.
That was a weird conversation.
You could have still said, like, who do you know in your company? You could have potentially gotten a referral. Look, hey Rob, we're at the top of the hour. Look, you did an amazing job. I mean, I'm not here just to be the cheerleader. And you know, this is the only outfit I wear. Just by the way, this is the one outfit I have. Got to get out. White Rabbit. We're gonna end the stream. Thank you all for coming out. Just one more thank you to the sponsors, because that's what we got to do. We want to thank Vidyard, Slintel, Connect and Sell, Lead IQ, Revenue Grid, shameless plug, salesborgs.ai. Don't know what the AI is. We had a phenomenal time here. Rob Turley from White Rabbit, co-founder, CEO. And what's your website? Is it White Rabbit Intel? What?
Oh, so it's www.whiterabbitintel.com. That's rabbit with 2 B's. You have no idea how many times people mess that up. But yeah, whiterabbitintel.com. And we do sales enablement technology that enables sales and marketing teams to know more, win more, and close often. We literally eat, sleep, and breathe sales enablement. So
people don't realize that, but the movie The Matrix is based on Rob Turley. So we'll end there. Thank you so much.
For sure. Thank you so much, Justin. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Julia, for having me. It was so much fun, and I hope I did well. It's just that nobody was picking up, so.
No, you did great. It was good. Be around. Learned a lot. Thanks, everyone. Next fight, 8:30.
All right, cheers.
Sarah Brazier.